Okay, so our planet is getting warmer due to global warming. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is an increase of carbon dioxide levels, or CO2 levels. The reason for this is that we are burning more fossil fuels, coal, oil and gas. As countries get richer and industrialised, they need more electricity for factories, and then as countries get richer, more homes are connected to electricity and have more labour-saving devices, fridges, vacuum cleaners. And this releases your greenhouse gases, and the greenhouse gases act like a blanket, keeping the UV rays in, and so temperatures increase. For example, in China, 75% of the power stations are coal burning. The second reason for an increase in CO2 levels is car ownership has been going up. There's 22% of CO2 comes from transport. Cities like Delhi in India, in the 1970s, there was just 500,000 cars in Delhi. But by 2008, they had 5 million cars. In London, 2010, there's 2.4 million cars on the road in London. So this all releases a lot of greenhouse gases, causing the problem. The second thing that we need to talk about is we need to talk about methane. Okay? Once again, as a country gets richer, it turns to a Western diet. This means that they start eating more meat, so they start rearing more cattle and more sheep. As the cattle eat the grass, they actually excrete methane when they go to the toilet. The second one is there's been an increase growing in rice. If you think about it, China has now got a population of 1 billion, and that's still rising. Rice is grown in water. As the bacteria breaks down the waste in the water, this releases methane. And finally, the mining of fossil fuels. This actually releases 30% of world methane. And methane is a really bad greenhouse gas because it's actually 20 times worse than releasing carbon dioxide. Right, the impacts of climate change. Okay, so we need to look at crop yields, rising sea levels, and retreating glaciers. So the ice caps are melting and sea levels are rising. By the end of the next century, sea levels will rise by 88 centimetres. This is going to cause flooding in New York and, for example, the River Thames in London, and this is going to cause millions of pounds worth of damage to property and loss of homes. 17.5% of Bangladesh will be gone, wiped out. That means that they're going to lose the habitats for the Bengal tigers, and their mangrove swamps, which are protected and considered to be a very fragile ecosystem. Mangrove swamps, goodbye as well. Those are located on the coast. Next thing, what do we got? We've got the Tuvalu Islands, which are in the Pacific. 75 people are having to evacuate to New Zealand every year as more and more homes are lost into the sea. Crop yields. Crop yields are going to actually go down, decrease, as you have more droughts in Africa. So Tanzania is going to lose 1/3 of its maize crop, and this is going to result in a lot of starvation. What else are we going to have? We're going to have sea temperatures are going to rise. Now, if sea temperatures rise, the Great Barrier Reef in Australia will mean that its coral will be dead in 30 years' time. So if you've ever seen Finding Nemo, Nemo's habitat is going. We've also got retreating glaciers. The majority of the world's glaciers are now in retreat. They're now melting. And this is due to a temperature rise caused by climate change. 90% of the glaciers are actually melting in Antarctica, and this is actually adding to, and you've also got the melting of sea ice and land ice in the Arctic as well. So what's been the responses to climate change? You need to know about 3 responses. You need to know global scale responses, you need to know local scale responses, and you need to know the actions of non-governmental organisation, your NANGOs. Okay, so let's deal with global scale responses first of all. So this is the international response. You need to know that the Kyoto Protocol that was started in 1997, and then by 2008 181 countries had signed up to cut greenhouse gases by 5.2% compared to the 1990s levels. The EU actually agreed to cut our level of greenhouse gases by 8%. The local response covers councils, it covers schools, and it covers local interest groups. So if we deal with the councils first, the councils are trying to be more energy efficient. They have pledged to cut their CO2 levels by 20% by the year 2020. The government's given them £4 million to help them achieve this. So, for example, councils are fitting energy efficient light bulbs. They're having bye-bye standby on their computers, so at the end of the working day, all of their computers, turn off. They've got lights in the room, so they're on movement sensors, so when there's no movements in the room, the lights will automatically turn off to save energy. We've also got the example of Woking Council. It's given away low energy light bulbs to its local residents, and they have also a combined heat and power scheme. This powers, for example, you've got 6 buildings in the town centre, and the excess electricity is used by council buildings. They've got a solar power plant at the local leisure centre. This powers the leisure centre, the pool, and 136 homes. They're starting to switch, also in Woking, to renewable power by 2011. By 2011, they want to provide 20% of all energy will be renewable. For example, solar panels, wind power. Right, your next local one is the schools one, and this is the Live Simply campaign by the Catholic Church that was in 2007. They wanted school children to cut their carbon footprint, and the schools started using energy efficient light bulbs, auto switch lights, the computers where they would have a kill switch at 4 p.m. We've got that actually at Streetley, all the computers switch off at 4 p.m. And also use of wind power. That was actually funded by the Clear Skies scheme to fund some wind farms. The next one that we've got is, indeed the local one, is Manchester is My Planet, which started in 2005 to get people to sign up to lower their carbon footprint. They've got the Green Badge parking scheme. If you've got a low emissions car, that actually cuts the price of your car parking in Manchester city centre at NCP car parks by 25%.